Everybody. So, sorry, this is later than usual, but here is the new podcast with myself and Slimetime. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth, once again, still untitled podcast. We're getting comments, but no names. Please give us a name. Please.
Yeah. Please do, yes.
But I guess we'll jump right into the big thing with just crypto bleeding bad this week. I don't. It looks like it's starting to recover, but I guess we'll start with that. What do you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we had a pretty eventful week with we started off with weeks of rug pulls here and there, and then all of a sudden the market just decided to take a dump, and dive, and then all of a sudden market was kind of settling a little bit on his dip, and then everybody was kind of like catching their breath, and then Terra's situation just came. It didn't come out of nowhere, but it did at the same time, if that makes any sense, for the fact that like everybody was expecting something big to happen, in my opinion. And everybody, I believe, and including myself, was expecting something positive to be happening here soon and not negative like what had happened with Terra.
I mean, it was definitely something big. I'll give you that.
Yeah. But like right now, nobody has an actual clue as to what drove this. I mean, there's, of course, the conspiracy theories out there, that what was it? The Citadel Securities, BlackRock took out a loan from Gemini, took out $100,000 Bitcoin loan, and then bought up $25,000 worth of UST, and then started selling $75,000 worth of the Bitcoin or something like that. I think that's how it went. And they bought 25% of UST, and then the two companies dumped the UST, and BTC crashed, and UST's sister Luna token along with the price of Bitcoin. That's one of the conspiracies that's out there. But Citadel Securities, BlackRock, and all of Gemini have come back out saying that that's not true. And the person who was actually, calling them out was the Cardano founder, Charles Hodgkinson. But then, of course, he took his tweet down after he called him out, and then they came back and was backlashing him. So, right now there's not too much true evidence of what caused the whole situation.
It was I know a lot of people. Was it the guy who created Binance? Came out and was talking about how it's he really didn't like how it was handled, how they didn't really say much about it. But from our community, Chow, I don't know if you saw, posted something that Tara posted out. I didn't really get too big of a chance to read it. I'm trying to look over it now for their revival plan. I guess it's good that they're not just going to close up shop, but I wish they would have done something to stop the buying, because right now it's just a free-for-all for whales. I think they're going to buy up and then just tank it, I think. So I really think people should be careful on trying to get in now, because it's low. It's really low. But what is it? 10,000ths of a cent or something like that?
I think so.
Thousandths of a cent?
Yeah. But no, I mean, they did put a halt on the blockchain. They stopped the blockchain for 9 hours. They did try to stop as much as they possibly could. I mean,
did they stop the selling or both buying and selling? Because I thought
I think the central exchanges didn't allow buying it. Once the blockchain was stopped for the 9 hours, I think that's where your central exchanges that were allowing to purchase Luna and all that, and put a halt on that, and you couldn't purchase it. I mean, I know people are still buying and like you're saying right now, they got of course got the blockchain going back up, and they are allowing people to purchase again, which is always good that they didn't completely die. Even though for the most part everybody thinks they did. I do believe I do see your side where it's a great opportunity for whales to buy up, but I don't feel that the people that are buying are like true whales. I feel like they are the ones that were
Wannabe
heavily
whales. There's
wannabe whales that were heavily invested in Terra or in Luna or UST1 that are trying to build it back up, buy the dip, or buy the death roll, death bleeding, whatever, the bleed out, to try to help it build back up, because all of what whoever didn't sell as it was crashing, they're still sitting on a lot of tokens. And even right now, I saw a couple of guys on Twitter where they bought at the way low before it started going back up. Somebody bought like $60 worth of Luna when it was even lower than what it is now, and now he's sitting at like 400 and some odd dollars worth of Luna. So I mean, like, it's it's not all bad. I mean, it's bad for the ones that lost in the beginning, but like, if they can build it back up, and it's not the true whales that are going to pump and dump it. I don't being a what a top 10 blue chip coin system. I just don't see it being a pump and dump. I mean, we've seen Solana having issues where they shut down 7 times before they kind of got everything solid. We still always have to remember that we are still, even though everything Bitcoin, Ethereum's been around for several years. Everything else is still in its infancy. Everybody's still learning. We're all still learning, and
That's
still
what
trying
I'm
to figure
worried
everything
about.
out.
Is people are going to learn how to become. I can't say because we're going on YouTube because of this.
Right. No, and I think that I think there will be a time where the whales won't have as much play as they do right now. I'm not saying that the regulatory, what they call them, regulations. I don't think those will come into play, right now, and I don't think they'll come into play, within the next maybe over 5 years from now, maybe so depending on how it goes.
So what do you think is a way to curb that? Do you have any thoughts? Because I mean, I had a few, but I don't know how really realistic they would be. I feel like they'd still find a way out. But like, look at Lava with the caps on the wallets. Yeah, it's a good idea and it sounds good on paper, but what about the people that have like 20 wallets?
Yeah.
I mean, what I was thinking with the community coin I'm doing with the wallet project is I do want to have it's generally going to be something for a educational purpose, but I do want to give kickbacks and stuff like that and bring money in for the project. So, but there's the way one thing I was thinking about, and I don't know if I should say it because if it works, I might not be the first to do it now, but it doesn't matter. I don't really care. Is and also this is also because I'm not a billionaire too, where I'm going to slowly, like every time I mint something, I'm going to take half of it and match it to add the liquidity into it. So that way someone can't go in on launch and buy up like 80,000 coins.
Yeah.
Out of the 100,000 that's released or something, and then slowly just drop it whenever they want a new car. I mean, probably with this coin, you won't be able to get a new car, but new Matchbox car, maybe.
Hey, you never know. You never know. In crypto, you just don't know right now.
But
no, I feel the regulations will come. I truly do, especially if something like this continues to happen. I don't know a great play to kind of keep the whales at bay, other than like some true serious regulations coming into play. But like even then, it's it's almost going to be to the point like what, kind of like what are the regulations for whales and stock market? Like, I don't,
But you also have to think this isn't like how the U.S. stock market is just within the U.S. and
right.
they could regulate that. One, you know who. Well, you personally don't probably know who's buying them, but the regulatory boards do. Wallets, you don't need to provide any sort of identity to get a wallet.
Right. And nobody knows who that wallet belongs to either.
Yeah, and if there's, I'm sure there's a way. If you like, some of the smartest people could probably figure out a way to track the IPs of the wallet. But you have VPNs, you have coffee shops, and then you have ones across the world that even if they find out, how many different, I don't know offhand, but how many different countries don't have any sort of agreements with the US that if they find out the person's there, they won't be able to do anything about.
Like no extradition.
Yeah.
And see, with this being a quick transaction, quick everything, to me it's going to be very tough to regulate the whales. But I feel though, as crypto keeps growing and they keep learning and gets to the point to where everybody has figured out great plays, not necessarily to create people, it's going to make people millions of dollars. We've already seen that, and it's continuing to do that.
I'm still waiting on mine though.
Me too. But I mean, we've seen it. You just have to find the right plays. You have to learn and look and watch and just not necessarily following people's footsteps. And sometimes people just get lucky. It just happens.
The guys, the two brothers in Long Island with Shib put in like $9 grand and ended up with like a few billion or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's things like that will create more, not necessarily like true whales, but create like new whales to the point to me that where they will be able to help regulate the buy versus.
I have seen.
You're always gonna have these huge whales that can manipulate markets, manipulate just about anything they want to because they just have it. They just have it.
I mean, I have seen some of that in Polar. Before the big crash, when it was going down slightly, there was someone who was just buying up like Everest to try to the coins to get Everest to try to build that up. Now, I personally don't know if that's because he could afford it and will be able to cash out later, which I'm hoping isn't the case. I'm not him. I don't know his scenario, but I have seen like that happen, and I don't believe they're dropping a lot. The one I'm talking about, I have seen in the Discord, and he does seem like he's very all about this project. So, I mean, people like that in the community, yeah, I think that could help. But I mean,
the problem with that though is that eventually they're going to cash out. Now it may not be like the full cash out, but they will cash out. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
As long as they're doing it responsibly, it's not going to kill the project. Like with Shib and Vitalik's donation to the COVID relief fund, they said, yeah, you gave us all this. We're going to need it for money, but we're going to do it at different times. It's not going to be all at once, and we'll give you notice when they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think stuff like that would be like really, really good for whales to do. And then I wouldn't mind the whales so much. But right now, and this is what I fear, is everyone sees this, doesn't get the proper education or doesn't care. When they start growing the wealth, they're just going to start acting like it and then hurting everybody else in the long run. And that's what I'm worried this whole thing with Terra, with the people buying it. I know there's going to be, I did see one of 3 or 4 hours ago, I think, that someone dumped like 7,000. I think it was, I can't remember if it was coins or dollars, but.
And But the real thing is that even with whales, you still wouldn't have to worry about them as much as if there was an actual true utility to all of this. If there was a true supply and demand for this. Right now, it's just an investing tools, no true utility, except for, there's some out there that actually do have true utility, and, those don't get pumped and dumped because the utility's there. The ones that get pumped and dumped are the ones that don't have any real utility.
Because they can't really value it in the long run. So
that's what I'm saying. So they can't, nobody sees it as a long-term investment. So they're going to pump it up at, when it launches, and then just, okay, we reached our limit there. And then just, I think that's what's happened. It started happening with all these node projects, is that everybody saw, some of the ones, not only getting rugged, but, my bad. Not only getting rugged, but saw that they were losing value after launch, and then nothing really was getting put into it. The big hype and everything, it cooled down, and you just watched it slowly dip. So then everybody like, okay, well, ROI is kind of out if I just play it the way they want me to play it through the white paper. So what I'm going to do is try to whitelist, and then I'm going to wait, and I'm going to whitelist or pay, buy my whitelist pre-sale at the low cost. And then, I'm going to buy as many as I can. And then I'm going to wait for launch, and I'm going to watch it pump because everybody's buying in. And when I think it's getting to the top, I'm just going to sell so I can make my ROI. I may not sell all of it, but I'll sell, at least get my ROI, if not get a good chunk. Now, a lot of people's taken that mentality over the last half month, due to the fact that everybody's starting to realize, hey, this Ponzi dominance isn't working because there is no true utility.
Yeah, I know we talked before, and you were mentioning about how if you'd start a coin, you wouldn't want to really do a whitelist.
Let everybody have the same opportunity. That's, to me, that's the best bet to launch a coin. Now, you could do it sort of like some of those other ones where they've sacrificed, but that's no whitelist. That's just a sacrifice. Like you're already putting money in. You're not whitelisting and getting it at a cheaper price. You're sacrificing it, and then you get coins or tokens. When it launches. Now, I don't mind that idea because I feel you've already got the liquidity from the sacrifices. So if you peg that to something else, and for like having, two pools. So you're always going to have the pumpers and dumpers. That's just going to be a given no matter what it is. People always will try to make a quick buck.
Yeah. And I agree. And I think whitelist can work and be a good thing if it does tied to the utility somehow, or tied to what it's actually used for, like whitelist for nodes instead of if you whitelist on a node, I think that should automatically go into a node, and you can't just sit on it and ride it and then drop it. I've seen that before the whole thing with Leaf, that happened to Leaf. That happened to Etherstone. That happened to Lava. Lava's, I think, still going through it, but it's not as bad. I think it hit like 2 something, and then it just slowly declined. And some people said in the group that they think it's doing that now because the ROI. Maybe that's at the point now, but a week after launch, that's not there. No one's getting their ROI back that quickly. There's no real reason that should be happening unless it's people dumping. And of course, it's smaller amounts because of node cap. But once again, how many of those wallets that are dumping are owned by someone who has 8 or 9 other wallets?
Right. And then to me, one that probably would get frowned upon completely, in my opinion, would be okay, you know what? If I do a whitelist, okay, if I did a project and I did a whitelist, my goal would be to put a sales tax of 95% for the first 100 days.
Well, didn't the project do 100% for like the first 2 weeks or something like that?
No, I haven't. Oh, I don't. It could have. I haven't seen a project do that like that high. I think the highest was 45%. I think is the highest I've seen. I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure.
someone said that. I thought I read that somewhere that someone told me that.
I mean, it's a possibility, but like no. So that's I would never do 100%, but I would do 95% sell tax for the first 100 days. If I could get the numbers to where if everybody, I mean, you're still gonna have people who sell like because they're just
I'm,
that kind of person.
I'm
But I mean,
just,
that would be a bad like people wouldn't like that. There's a lot of people that wouldn't invest because of that. But the people that understood the project, wanted to be a part of the project, and actually wanted the project to succeed, they would get that, and they're like, okay, I'm totally cool with that. Because after that 100 days, if that's I actually would do the 95% sell tax for the ROI period, the first ROI period. And then, of course, you're going to have a big hit after that because everybody at ROI. But then they're like, okay, I got all my money. I don't have to worry about this project and my initial money anymore. Like, I don't have to do that. I can focus on just helping this project grow because I've got the money I invested back. I think if a lot of people were able to actually truly get that, because most of the time a project just needs the extra help to get off the ground.
yeah.
And
Yeah, like what was it? Jurassic didn't get enough money.
Yeah.
Marsall brought that information to us. And so like at least they're refunding, but and we've seen that with the heroes versus villains too, which I kind of like that, but they were a little pricey. I mean, now they won't be pricey. It was 3 AVAX. Now I get like 6 of them, but it was a little pricey when they were launching, close to $100 in AVAX. They were asking, actually, no, they upped it to 3.2 AVAX, and then they didn't make the sales they wanted to. And I mean, same thing happened with Caveman,
right.
Compounding Caveman. At least he's still trying to figure something out. All the other ones,
Right.
they're closing up shop, and I mean, at least I know some of them are giving back refunds, but of course,
Yeah.
there's going to be ones that don't.
Yeah. And the ones that are giving the refunds back, like kudos to those people because like they don't technically have to do that. You are investing money and you're gambling money basically in all of this stuff. They don't have to give refunds back. Yeah, of course, like everybody's going to hate that comment that I just, I'm going to hate that I said that. But at the end of the day, they don't have to do that. They don't have to. You're freely giving your money away because you believe in this project. Now, projects don't work out. Yes, we've seen it. Projects don't work out, but you're still investing into something. And when you invest, that means you're taking a chance because you could lose it all.
And that's like the other thing that I mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned it in the podcast or not, but I definitely talked about it in videos about how like this is why a lot of people who start projects and would be like why they're not really okay with doxing, because you have these people who don't realize it is like gambling. And so they put all this money in thinking it's a surefire thing, but nothing in crypto is. I mean, we saw a stable coin pegged to the US dollar is not a surefire thing anymore.
Right.
But so like these people are like, I heard that through other people. I haven't seen any proof of it, but so I'm the type of person, if I don't see it, I'll listen to it and I hope, and I mean, I don't think you're lying, but I honestly need to like see it myself to fully 100% believe. And
believe what?
anything someone says. Like this person
Oh
did
yeah.
this or
Okay.
this is
Yeah. Okay.
happening. Unless I see
Right.
it, I'll report it. Like I do want to report something on a polar video once I get more time, because I actually seen some questionable community interaction between some of the mods, but um, overall, there's good and bad, and I'll report it, but I want to see the proof of it before I actually put it out there as factual, or else I
Right.
won't put it out there. So this comes from this being a podcast is different from the videos. Um, so I have heard that there were, and I don't doubt it, people claiming to want to commit suicide or something because of it. May get flagged on YouTube for saying that, but these people lost thousands of dollars, and apparently it's something that they couldn't afford to lose. You never want to put anything like that in crypto because, like you said, it is a gamble. And this brings up the fact is you have some of these people who may be good-hearted won't dox because people don't realize it's a gamble and will go after them if
Right.
the project fails. If they rug it or they purposely maliciously tank it so they can get a quick buck, more power to you if you want. I personally probably won't because I it's illegal first of all to kill somebody, so I probably won't.
Yes, it is one of the high ones up there. You know,
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to understand where they're coming from. Some of these people, they don't really care, and they'll go after someone if the project fails and they put a lot of money into it, even if the person didn't have bad intentions.
Right. Yeah, and see, people treat this like purchasing an item or purchasing something. Like they think that there's a warranty or they think that there's a replacement plan, and that if it's defective, they should get their money back or something. No, that's not how investment works. That's not how that
It's not
works.
like you could go to
Yeah.
go to Best Buy, get $1,000 in Solano, and then if that tanks, take it back and get a refund or use
Hey,
it
it's
for
only been
protection.
14 days since I purchased this and it tanked. I'm gonna need to return this. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I bought $10,000 worth of AVAX and it went down, but I bought the 2-year protection plan.
Yeah.
I did see that there is like an insurance thing now for crypto. I don't know if you ever came across that. I haven't really looked into it, but I don't know if it's for like rugs only or like if I'll have to see if I could try and track that down. But speaking of tracking things down, we've been teasing this. Well, you've been teasing this for like 2 weeks now. The the thing that you were talking about, the liquid loans or whatever you're
liquid loans, yeah. So liquid loans is
and let me just interrupt real quick for anybody listening.
Yes.
If neither Slimetime or myself are tax lawyers, so
no.
if you're a tax lawyer who specializes in crypto, please come on the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We'll give you the whole hour.
Answers on crypto taxes in general would be nice because next year we're gonna have to do some.
Yeah, we'll give you 2 hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So liquid loans is going to be on the Pulse Chain network. Like that's the only place it's going to be on. It's for Pulse Chain. It's for Pulse, and so basically, it is a way for anybody who owns Pulse, the networked token or coin. It has the ability to where you can enter into what they call a vault, and then you can put in as many Pulse coins as you want, but you have to keep a ratio of 110% above what your so what they call a vault will be the loan, and so you can put in ever how many amount of coins you want. but you have to keep the ratio at 110% above what you're asking for the loan. And so then that gets staked in the vault. Your Pulse coins get staked in the vault, and then you are given whatever amount that you put in for. So let's say you put in for $10,000 worth of Pulse coins, you're going to get $10,000 worth of what they're calling their stable coin. I did quotation marks just because, stable coins are stable.
Live video would be good for this.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. So it's USDL is what they're calling their stable coin. So basically you'll get the $10,000 worth of USDL to do whatever you want to with. And as long as you keep, your ratio above, there is no, I have to pull it back up because actually there is no interest rates on these loans as well. But you'll get the $10,000 worth of USDL to do whatever you want to. The other cool things is that you can stake. You don't have to actually lock your Pulse coins into a vault. You can stake them and earn their what they call their what do we call it? Like you're doing the community coin, you call it
like a DAO type thing?
No, native token.
Oh, okay. Okay. The actual coin I'm trying to bring out.
Right.
Okay.
So that you can stake and earn their native token.
Is their native token going to be pegged at all to anything?
I don't think so. So you can borrow, you can earn, you can stake, and redeem, of course. So borrowing would be the vault. You can provide USDL to the stability pool for a loan, and you actually get Pulse back as rewards when you do that. Stake the loan to earn USDL and Pulse from the borrowing fee revenue.
So the loan it honestly kind of sounds like a really quick ROI, and
it gives you the ability so you don't have to sell your coins. So like let's say Pulse. Let's say let's just say Pulse actually does really well, and it starts rising, and you've got some of these people that sacrifice for Pulse. They're going to have a lot. We're talking millions worth of coins. And of course, I don't ever see it like jumping quickly up to where Ethereum and them are at or anything like that. I mean, if it gets to $1 in 2 years, like I'll be happy. Just saying.
Do they have a launch price set or no?
No, not yet. I don't think if they do, they're not going to tell anybody that I know of. But no, so you have the opportunity to always keep your coins, your Pulse coins, so you don't ever have to sell them. That's the main reason why they came up with this. And they don't talk about this, but I've seen a lot of people in the Pulse and Hex, the huge community that is the Hexicans, the Pulsicans, the Pulsexicans. They all talk about liquid loans as in a way to sort of get around taxes, as in, loans aren't taxed. So, if you're not selling your Pulse coins, you're not technically making you're not earning any money. If you take a loan out against them, that's also not, making money. You're taking out a loan, so you don't get taxed for the loan. So that's where a lot of them are talking about, you don't necessarily have to pay taxes on crypto because you're taking out a loan against your coins.
I have to give it to
now. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually legit or not. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. If you can find a crypto tax person, reach out to them, ask that question. I'm trying to find some to ask that myself.
If you find one,
but
to ask them if they'd be okay with coming on the show.
yeah, but it looks really like a decent opportunity. But the question is that you don't know the market. Like if crypto had been around for 20 years and this is just starting to happen, and crypto's kind of stable and not as volatile as it has been over the last couple of years, then this would be a really good opportunity to not have to worry about selling your coins. But because you don't know what the market's going to do 6 months to a year from now, the thing is that you always, like, the great thing is that you can put in as high of a percentage against if you do the loan, you can go as high as you want percentage wise. So if the value of the coin goes down, you're still good percentage wise. That's my only downside to it, is that you don't know what the price. Like if you decide to, like, if you just take out a big loan against a good chunk of Pulse, it's, to me, that's a big risk, because you don't know the value of what it will be. To pay. You may take out a big enough loan where it's going to cost you a long time to pay it back. So it is good though.
Are these loans in the vault, are they like set to certain times that you can choose, or like how is it?
No, it's basically you there is no interest and there is no set times. So basically you can have it for as long as you want it. As far as information I've gathered. It
does seem like that it is like a immediate return, but still staking. I don't know.
Well, you stake it to earn,
I mean,
as well,
for putting in the vault, but it just, I don't know. It's not really staking so much you're earning it back, but staking as you like locking it up. But I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm thinking right now. It's I do have to give it to the DeFi community though for constantly coming up with different things like this to try to skirt any sort of payment at all.
And if anybody's interested in looking into it more, it's liquidloans.io. But once again, it's strictly for Pulse Chain. Strictly for Pulse Chain. It's not going to be for any other chain. Is going to be strictly for Pulse Chain. So that's it. That's the only downside, is that it's strictly for Pulse Chain. Like,
I mean,
if they did this for Ethereum, I'd like it. I think like that would be pretty cool.
I definitely want to try to do a video on this, but I really would love to find a tax lawyer to look over this, and it just seems, or a crypto lawyer. Sorry, not a tax lawyer. It just, right. I don't know. I still don't know how I'm feeling. Like, and like other people who follow me know, I try to go small and go big. So I'm still probably going to wait till after next tax season.
Right.
And see how many people go to jail for this. Hopefully it's none.
Right. Yeah.
It just,
and that's the thing, is I don't think they could actually come out and be like, hey, this is a great opportunity to avoid taxes. Like, because I would think that'd be some kind of like against the law of some sort, I'm sure.
Yeah. If they come out and say that, you can pretty much kiss that coin goodbye, because they're not going to be working on it from prison.
Right.
I'm sure they'll find some way to get around that, or to get them. But yeah, it's interesting concept. I definitely got to look more into it, and maybe do a video on it. But sort of that. How's Hex doing? I haven't been really being able to keep up to the numbers since we're talking Pulse Chain.
They did drop down a little bit. Last time I looked, it was sitting at 14 cents. Now, that was probably like first thing this morning when I looked at it.
Oh, I think that's not bad at all, because my
it dropped down to 13, and then when everything started coming back, I mean, it could be back up at 16 or something like that, 15 to 16, but I don't think it got below 13. when it
Yeah,
dropped.
because when I did my video a few days ago, right before this huge crash, it was sitting around 16. I mean, everything else, unless it dropped and came down, but you said you don't think it went below 13. So
Right.
three,
Yeah.
like that's not bad at all. What is a three? What is 3 cents? 16. What percentage is that? Let me bring up a calculator. 18%, 19%. Considering other coins were down like 60, 80%. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I should have got some, but I wanted to get some stuff ready for my giveaways and start putting AVAX away so I can get um, a delegator soon, hopefully. But
I do apologize. Let's see here from.
Why you apologize?
So I'm apologizing because I was looking at Coinbase this morning, and that's where I saw the numbers. But Nomics, is a crypto index, and they have it at 12 cents. So it's down 0.5% from
still not bad comparison this last week.
Yeah. So for some reason, I don't know apparently somebody's been selling it or doing something. The big stake could have ended too today as well. The reason why it could have dropped because at 9:00 this morning it was sitting at 13, almost 14 cents. So it's dropped over this afternoon since I looked at it this morning.
So let me see if I can go over a little bit of that. I didn't get because I was in the middle of doing other stuff. I didn't get to fully read through the article, but let me see if I can find some headline, some like something to recap.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to try and reset network ownership to 1 billion tokens. 400 million or 40% is going to Luna holders before the DPEG. Another 40%, 400 million to UST holders, prorated at the time of the new network upgrade. UST holders need to be made whole as much as possible. Okay, they really need the people who were doing that. They need to take care of, for especially UST. 10% is going to Luna holders at the final moment of the chain halt, and 10% is going to community pool to fund future developments. So, I mean, at least they got a plan in place. We'll see if it works, but they definitely need to really, really take care of these UST holders because, like we were talking about before, it's a gamble, and as we see, even pegged and stable coins can be a gamble. But
right.
I mean, there's a lot of people there who probably did, even if it would have went down a little bit, but to drop, what was it like? It dropped down to 60 cents.
Which one?
UST.
UST dropped down to 42 or 43.
42.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they losing half their money on what was supposed to be claim to be a stable coin pegged to the US dollar I think they should, if they're going to take care of their holders, they should probably focus on those guys first.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You always want to take care of your investors first and foremost, if you can. Now, you don't necessarily. I'm not saying that nobody should, because that's the right thing to do, but they don't have to.
This also brings up a good point with like if they need to make changes, should it be equal or should it be based on early holders or newer holders? As with pollers, I guess their vote concluded. I think that they are going to be dropping rewards, but there was talks the last 2 days back and forth from what we saw in our Discord about I guess a lot of people saw him polar, and one of our members really, really mad that they were holding extremely early. But I guess they were talking about cutting rewards of people who already ROI'd or early holders, but not cutting rewards of the newer people. Or like, I don't know. What do you think of, like, if if there it comes to a point that rewards need to be cut, which is unfortunate, and it kind of does bring a little trust down in me in a project. I understand you have to keep the project going, but think about that before you launch the project. Think of worst case scenarios, but sometimes stuff happens and they do have to cut. Do you think that they should like cut higher people's rewards that won't hurt as much? Everybody's rewards, newer rewards, and take care of the original investors, or original investors' rewards and take care of the newer people. How are you thinking about that?
It's a tricky subject. It's just very, because no matter what you decide, you're going to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to go with what is best for the project. In my opinion, you can't be biased on, this, that people are going to get mad because I say this, but you can't be biased on the fact that, okay,
you're just making everyone mad today. You get so much hate out of the 6 people that view us.
But it's true. It's truthful though, and that's the thing. Is it like sometimes you just got to be truthful about it. So, like, if it's best for the project, you can't be biased about the person who's been there the longest, or the first, the people that have invested in the beginning. Yes, that's great. They're loyal, and you got to appreciate that whatsoever. But you got to do what's best for the project. You cannot let your emotions get the better of you because somebody has been in there the longest, and you want to do everybody right. And I'm pretty sure that's what some of these people are in these projects are doing. Like they are getting stretched and ripped apart because they're trying to make this project work, but then also they have emotions going on because you want to make everybody happy. But in the business sense and investing sense, you got to do what's best for the project.
Like horse.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know, Horse Nodes apparently said that there was going to be a huge reveal. So everyone's thinking finally a white paper, and they released the new logo
twice. Apparently they fooled everybody that was in the Discord, so now they made an uproar where most people aren't like trusting them. So I don't know if Horse Nodes is actually kind of be okay. But
that comes back to our discussion in the second week with community. You need a good community, ones that trust you. That's Absolutely. Not going to do it.
Yeah, not at all. No, but that's another thing I was getting at, is that you got to do what's best for the project for the long run to take care of everybody. So if you go off your biased opinion, you go off your emotions, and you do stuff kind of, you crunch the numbers, and it's just right there on the line, and because you're gonna take care of the ones that have been in there the longest, and not take care of the ones that were whatever just got in, or take care of the ones who invested the most, and not take care of the ones that invested a little bit, or vice versa, whatever. You have to balance it and do what's best for the project. So in the long run, you're creating something, or you're trying to do the impossible, which is make this project last, the ages, which in time will bring everybody, as long as they keep investing, keep in the project and compound and building their own portfolio up. You're building it so it is making everybody else money at the same time. And that is a strictly unbiased business opinion, because it's nothing set in stone. But in order to, in my opinion, take care of your community, for the ones, take care of everybody in the community, from the ones that have been there from the beginning to the ones that just joined, You have to do what's best for the project.
Yeah, and this actually brings up another point is voting. I see this a lot with a lot of different protocols, especially the node protocols that have DAOs. The voting is done as per how many nodes or how many NFTs. Like, so like each node or each NFT would get a vote, not necessarily each person, which I don't like, because you have a lot of people who may be pretty smart, but just getting into crypto, or may have some good ideas because they really like a project, but they have been screwed by all these rug pulls. Or there may be something that someone who really likes your project can't have that many, but then you have whales who have thousands upon these things. So they're
Right.
those people who are the whales who are just looking to dump as much as they can. I mean, granted, it's a node, so it's only interest, but when you have that many nodes, your interest could be a house.
Right.
Or maybe not a house, but a rent payment or something, unless it's a ridiculously high ROI.
Right.
But I do understand like that a lot of people do that, a lot of projects do that because they may think that that's the fair way to do it. They're putting more money in, so they should be able to get more say in the matter. I personally don't see that as the best option. I mean, maybe if it's not possible to, well, I mean, anything's possible with these guys. They can set up however they want. But if for some reason they're using this as a way for people to buy more, at least give another option for like people who market you really well, or people who are really active in your Discord. Give them extra votes or something. You have to even it out, because it's not fair that the people who can't afford to buy all these nodes can't vote as much as like someone who buys tons of these nodes but don't really care about the project because they just have the money to spend.
Right. I believe in one vote and one vote only per person. No extras for anybody else, because to me that's going to be your best bet, your flattest line. There will be no abilities. Yeah, of course you're gonna have people try to talk other people into doing, if there's the community is good like that and they're all close and they talk to everybody. But you once again, you go back to how businesses work. If they have a board or they have a team or a board, everybody gets one vote. That's it. That's all they get. Doesn't matter if the one guy sitting in the chair has more shares than the woman across from him, and he's got 5,000 more shares than she does. But guess what? One vote for that person, one vote for that person. And in my opinion, that's the way it should be. You should only get one vote, because that is going to be if you're doing a voting system, that's going to be the only way you're going to get a true idea of what your community wants.
I'm just wondering why they're not doing that though, because that makes more sense doing that. But
they're trying to give the people that have invested the most the opportunity to, because once again, they're going off the emotion. Well, I can't piss this guy off that's bought 8 NFTs versus this other person who's bought 1 NFT because they really like the project, but that's all they can afford. And this other person, has been flipping NFTs for last 6 months, so he knows what he's doing. And this other person just happened to fumble onto this project and is just getting in. So, but I can't piss that the one that bought the 8 NFTs off. So I'm going to give him more voting power, so he'll be happy. No. You're not thinking business wise. You're not thinking investment wise. You're thinking with your emotions, and it's always going to burn
your wallet.
Yeah, you take it with your wallet too. Yeah, but it's all. I mean, you have to. Even though you've got communities, which is great, because if you don't have communities, you don't have a project. But you still have to keep it as a business. This isn't survival. This isn't where, hey, everybody, you still get a vote on what's going on. But at the end of the day, if the vote doesn't play out like you thought it was going to. And that's another thing is like, if it comes to a vote on something, did the people of the project put everything out there that would be best for the project versus, they have one where, okay, well, if we do this, then it won't be as good as if we do this. No, then don't put that one in there. Put everything out there that's what's best for the project. I don't know why I want to stress that so much today, but it's ingrained in me. Do what's best for the project. But at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, we're getting close to an hour now. I believe we started like maybe 3:02, but I got something to do at 5:30 that I got to get going soon for. But before we say farewell till next week, I do want to say, as you could tell, this week we kind of had some different opinions on some things, and neither Slimetime or I are crypto geniuses. So
far from it.
So we definitely would love your opinions. That's why with the new Zoom account I got, if you notice, I didn't have to cut this a half an hour. I believe I have a way to stream this live on Facebook and possibly YouTube. So I'm going to look into doing that, so we can take questions or other viewers' opinions on stuff as well, instead of just us telling you our stuff and you disagree and throw your orange juice at the computer, which I hope that's not the case. I hope we don't make you mad enough to throw your orange juice or coffee at the computer, but Slimetime may have today, but I'm sure you didn't intend to. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, so just remember that.
Right.
So anything else you want to say before we cut it, Slimetime?
A name. We need a name. Somebody. Come on. Somebody who's watching or listening. Give us a name. Because for some reason we can't come up with nothing. I mean, it's not that hard. Just throw one out there. It's not that hard. I say it's not that hard, but we can't come up with one either.
I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
I'm just. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this week, and hopefully we'll see you all next week if you still want to show up after this conversation. But hopefully next week you could voice your opinion and say how much we don't know about stuff. So feel free to do that. I will not mute you or throw you out unless you start swearing and just insulting. Just insult.
Right.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
I know I normally don't do a beginning and endings to these videos. I just want to once again, extremely sorry. I really want to apologize for it being late. Just had a really, really hectic week. So I do have a website too. So definitely check that out. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and have a good day. Most importantly. Bye, everybody.